I asked the Spirit to give me something for you today, and maybe Spirit decided that what you needed was a bucket of Kool-Aid on your head, or maybe this is making some sense to you, but this is for somebody here, because I asked for something specifically for somebody here. We invite the Spirit of our founder, the Father, Dr. Shivago, who comes to us through his saintly life. Please bring to us the knowledge of all nature, that this prayer will show us the true medicine of the universe. In the name of this mantra, we respect your help and pray that through our bodies, you will bring wholeness and health to the body of our client. All right, let's just break it down. We invite the Spirit of our founder, the Father, Dr. Shivago. All right, first of all, what is the Spirit of our founder? What could be the Spirit of our founder? If I'm inviting something, am I inviting the old man to come and live with me? No. In fact, absolutely not. Okay, I don't want some old scranky cadre spirit guy lurking around, following me around everywhere. It's not a ghost. Okay, well, first of all, it's not going to work for me because I believe in reincarnation and recurrence. And so I don't actually believe there is any Spirit of the founder floating around somewhere to invite to come and be with me. I don't actually believe that's true, because I believe in reincarnation and recurrence. And I also believe that happens within 42 days of passing. So not only that, yeah,
what,
go ahead.
42 days?
It's Bardo Thodal, Tibetan Book of the Dead.
Okay.
All right. So he's come and gone many, many times. As far as I'm concerned, he might be sitting in this room as an incarnated being, because I believe in reincarnation and recurrence. So he's not just someone who is influential in the past. Whatever the spirit is of that incarnation, it never left us. See, that's one of the true meanings of lineage, by the way. It's not just that some old stuff passed down from old people from hand to hand, okay? It's actually that if you're, remember, this is in a system of people who believe in reincarnation and also believe in the possibility of conscious reiteration of reincarnation, which is in the form of lamas and rinpoches and great rishis, in other words, great teachers who decide to come back as themselves repetitively over and over and over again in order to function as guides appropriate for the time as the world changes. Appropriate for the time. So just like me, if I believe there ever was a Buddha, I believe he's still here now. Why would he not be? If there ever was a Jesus, he's still here now. Why would he not be? Because I believe in conscious reiteration. And I believe that fundamentally, if you have anything of substance when you pass on, then one of your primary attributes from that point of view is to reiterate in order to come back and be helpful. Because there's some corporate agreement between us, which is nobody gets out until everybody gets out. And once you understand that from the point of view of the reiteration of consciousness, now you understand why there are Rinpoches. Now you understand why there are lamas. Why the heck would anybody want to come back to this mess if they had a choice to go to the Blue Crystal Medicine Buddha land on Mount Meru, where apparently the babes are hot, the food's good. In other words, it's like Lake Wobegon, where the children are, above average intelligence, and because otherwise, why would you come back? What's the point? You'd move on. You would become transcendent. Why would you become a body of light and a transcendent being only to turn right around and come back like you forgot your lunch? Literally. Oh, well, I forgot. There's something I wanted to tell you. I was being a light. And what is time to light? According to astrophysics, according to physics, there's no such thing. From the point of view, if you're a particle of light, for all intents and purposes, there's no such thing as time. So if you became a body of light and an absolutely, truly transcendent being for just 1 second, in real time, your life in that 1 second to come back now, to re-manifest, to reincarnate in a flesh body, would be infinity in real time. Infinity. Because even as a body of light, that means every particle of being that your body of light is composed of is traveling in all directions at a minimum of 186,000 feet per second. Just because you're light. Nothing personal. Got to work it through. What do the words mean? So if you do come back, that means you actually went into the well of infinite consciousness. And then infinitely considered all of your best options without constraint of time or space or other physical limitation. And then decided to come back. I mean, my God. No wonder we like these people so much. No wonder. You know, and if we actually gave it a moment's thought what that means, we would just have to get on our face and cry a lot. You know, because who's worthy, right? Well, we all are. We're all worthy. Why are we all worthy? Because it's a reiteration of us. It's who we are. We're the ones playing this game. Okay? All right, through the spirit of our founder, the Father Dr. Shivago, comes to us through a saintly life. And what is he comes to us through a saintly life? What does that mean? What is a saintly life? My definition of a saintly life is just a conscious life lived with intention. A conscious life lived with intention. And a conscious life lived with intention, which then manifests accordingly. Ta-da, saint. Okay? So who's not a saint, or who doesn't have the possibility of being a saint? Either we all do, or it makes no sense whatsoever. God is not a respecter of persons. Okay, I'm going to quote the Bible. Don't hurt me. God is not a respecter of persons. God is not a respecter of persons. If God would give anyone a blessing, God is bound to give everyone equal access to the same blessing. If there ever was a Jesus, if there ever was a saint, if there ever was a person who received a supernatural blessing from Spirit ever in the history of humanity, even one, then that availability of that gift, of that supernatural ability, is actually still here. Because God is operating outside the limitations of time and space. God is not a respecter of person. What does God care more for one person over another? What's it to God? From that perspective, that would be no different for me than I'm producing a movie, okay, and I get all bent out of shape, and I refuse to finish the movie or to show the movie because out of the 1,000,000 frames, individual frames, which are the iterations of consciousness, which we call the movie, there's one frame I don't like. Hold up the production. There's one frame I don't like. So I'm sorry, the movie's no good. We're not going to be able to show the movie. But there's 1,000,000 frames in the movie. Okay, that'd be kind of silly, wouldn't it? Okay. Now, if I'm really anal about it, I would just, well, what would I do? I'd cut the frame out. If there's a bad frame, what do? You cut it out. You don't stop the movie because there's a bad frame. Okay? Who comes to us through a saintly life. Please bring to us the knowledge of all nature, that this prayer will show us the true medicine. Well, what is the true medicine? The knowledge of all nature. The knowledge of all nature is the true medicine. True medicine is the knowledge of all nature. The knowledge of all nature is medicine. Let food be thy medicine. Let medicine be thy food. Hippocrates. Let food be thy medicine. Let medicine be thy food. Okay? What is food? Food is anything that feeds the five senses in such a way as to be able to support the stress-adaptive human biological machine in its appointed task, its function, which is to be a repository for the development of the conscious being within it, which is being transported by it. Okay? And medicine is anything that you hear, anything that you see, anything that you feel, anything that you taste, anything that you touch that supports the balanced functioning of the stress-adaptive human biological machine. It's all medicine. And anything that deteriorates the function of that machine, or interferes with it, or obstructs it, okay, is not food. Okay? We were made perfectly. We're not made imperfectly. We don't need outside help. We were not made flawed and defective and all of this. And that's why we don't need the chemicals and the radiation and all this to be perfectly healthy, is because the premise of chemical medicine is that you're flawed. The premise of chemical and radiologically based medicine is that fundamentally you're broken, that fundamentally you're flawed, that fundamentally you're not part of nature. Nature can't help you. There's no help for you. You're so broken that what has worked to maintain and preserve your species for 1 million generations, all of a sudden in your lifetime doesn't work anymore. That's how messed up we are. We've been surviving for 1 million generations on this planet without chemicals and without radiological medicine. And here we are in less than 100 years, the first generation of humanity on the whole history of the planet. And actually, I actually believe we're a reiteration of humanity. Right? You know what I mean when I say that. Do you guys, maybe, probably not. How old is the Earth? Somebody tell me. Just a number. Yeah, it's a big one, but you know, what have you heard? How old is Mom?
4.6 billion.
Hey, give or take 6 or 7 billion years. Okay. According to anthropologists, primate humans as a species have been on the planet for about 150 million years total. And that's from, you know, monkeypods. You know, that's from little squirrel people swinging from the trees. Okay, 150 million years total, right? As human primate people, like, you know, living together and doing the kind of things we do, like, hey, let's go check out my cave. Well,
Right.
150,000 years, only about 150,000 years. Okay, and they might say that's probably the length of time for the discovery of fire, you know, all right? Well, guess what? So in the history of the world, we could have generated a human species, gone completely through the evolutionary process that we've gone through, completely destroyed it, wiped it off the planet without a trace 1 million times in the history of the Earth. 1 million times. I mean, not just like a couple of times, but I mean, like, we're literally like, not only, well, why don't we see the evidence? Well, I mean, I'm talking about this could have happened so many times that all the continents could have like turned upside down and spun around in a circle on the planet. The whole planet could have been covered with water, covered with lava, 1 million times. And here we are again. We think we're the only one. Okay? But medicine, the true medicine, is the knowledge of all nature. What Shivago's message was from the very beginning was that medicine equals knowledge of nature. Medicine equals knowledge of nature. Knowledge of nature equals medicine. It is the true medicine. It's always been the true medicine. There's never been any other variation of true medicine which is set aside or separate from the knowledge of nature. And that's not just nature out there, but it's nature in here. And that's why, for example, psychology is important. That's why it is important to understand energy, the matrix body. It's why it's important to understand emotion, because that's our inner landscape of nature. But also, I mean, literal nature, grass, trees, flowers, water, sun, hot, cold, 5 elements, you know, that kind of thing. That this medicine, that this prayer will show us the true medicine of the universe. So it's not just ourselves that we're learning about. It's not just ourselves that we're healing. It's not just the planet that we're learning about. It's not just the planet that we're healing, but on some level, energetically, we are still part of a greater politic of the universe. And for example, this is what astrology systems have always been trying to keep in our awareness. The function of astrology is not to tell you that you need to invest tomorrow, okay? Or that you need to, it's a good day to clean house. or avoid emotional controvery in this full moon, okay? Because you go psycho, okay? That is not the purpose of astrology. The purpose of astrology is to remind us that we are still part of something greater, that we are the flea on the camel's back, which is in the desert. Okay? We are the flea, and we think we're driving the camel. Okay? We're in the body of the solar system. We have planets which affect us. We are affected by the sun. We are affected by the moon. Everybody here, if you're paying attention, you'd be able to notice your lunicity, that you're all a bunch of lunatics, okay? And that you should keep track of that, okay? I know I am. And I actually look for the physical and emotional and psychological cues that show me that when the moon is this full, is this close, that it's having an effect on my energy, on my physiology, on my biology, and on my psychology. And because I'm trying to pay attention to that, as I notice this, I try to work consciously with that energy. In the name of this mantra, we respect your help and pray that through our bodies, you will bring wholeness and health to the body of our client. Okay, that we pray through our bodies. Doesn't say pray through your mind. Doesn't say pray through your emotions. It doesn't say, it actually says that through our bodies. And it means body, by the way. That's why we do hands-on. Okay? Because the old guys, this old system, said that we all have a scratch we can't itch. 25 words or less. Why do I have to touch someone to do healing work? Because we have a scratch you can't itch. Sometimes you just damn need to scratch it if you want it to be better. You could have an itch and you could have someone do Reiki on you till the cows come home. And at some point, you would hit that Reiki person in the head with a shovel, take your garden snips, whack off a finger, and scratch your itchy place. Because there's just some things about us, because we're inhabiting the stress-adaptive, human biological transformational machine, okay? It has sensual requirements. Right? And so our bodies are vehicles, okay? Your body's a vehicle, my body's a vehicle. And so I want to find out how they work together, and where is the complementation, and that I use my body as a vehicle of consciousness, and that's how I try to reach out to you and try to communicate with your consciousness. I don't assume that what I see in front of me is actually you. Again, that's a mistake, because I say illusion of perspective, what Bruce Lee used to call the prejudice of style. Okay? Because I look at you and I have this appearance. And I think that means something. Oh, that means she's like, no. He's like, no, because he looks like that. But if you actually really, truthfully begin to encapsulate what all this means, you realize that the appearance of the machine means very little about